Well, when you start the season 17-3, I guess you're bound to have a bad night eventually, and that's what happened last night. But in today's video, we're getting back to the grind and hopefully the projection models that we look at each and every day that led us to the great success we had in our first 3 videos. Hopefully those things kind of turn around and they come through for us today. My name's CJ Curry. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, well, here's your chance. Here's your opportunity. Hit the subscribe button now, ring that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos when I drop them here on the channel. And then while you're down there, slap that like button. You guys absolutely demolished the like button yesterday. You guys went well over the line I set of 249.5 likes. You liked yesterday's video over 400 times. I'm going to set today's goal at 349.5. Let's see if we can get 350 or more likes on today's video. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think we can do it. All right. Now, speaking of doing it, I got PrizePicks plays to talk about. We're talking about today's NBA slate. There are several teams that are on back-to-backs, which is an important thing to bring up because typically teams that are playing on back-to-backs, especially the teams that are playing on back-to-backs and who are traveling from state to state, perform significantly worse than teams who are playing rested. And so keep that in mind tonight. There's a number of different teams that are on back-to-backs that may not perform as well as they typically do due to fatigue and travel. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the picks. If you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, they're still running that promo. You play $5, they give you 50. So if you've never deposited or played on PrizePicks before, this is your chance. Go down to the description of today's video. Use that special PrizePicks promo link that I've left for you. Promo code CJ Curry gets you that $50 match when you play your first $5. And they don't care if you win or lose. If you play 5, they're going to give you 50 back. All right. Starting with the first one here, Zach LaVine of the Chicago Bulls. He's sitting out there at a 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists line. This looks a little bit too low when compared to all of the projection models that we've been using in our recent videos. And so for that reason, we're looking to take the over or more on Zach LaVine. Now, yes, last night he did play, so he is on a back-to-back. Last night looked like a Kobe White night. Maybe things shift back over to Zach LaVine, and he has a good night tonight. But taking a look here at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, what this tool does for you is it goes out and it scans all the different sports books across the industry. It basically takes out the juice or the VIG, also known as like the tax that these sports books charge you, which basically leaves you with a true odds of a prop to hit. And in this case, Zach LaVine's got a little bit better than a 53% chance of going over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. In fact, you're seeing some sports books already bump Zach LaVine up to 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So there is some value here with PrizePicks being 1 PRA lower than some of these other sports books. And so let's take a look at the projections here for Zach LaVine. We're going to start over here on RotoWire. If you guys want a 2-day all-access free pass to RotoWire, link down in the description of today's video. Definitely check that out. RotoWire's built a fantastic player prop research tool. So we pop open Zach LaVine's projections. He's projected for 27.79 points, rebounds, and assists, putting him over by more than 2 PRA. That's enough of an advantage for me to take a shot on the over for Zach LaVine as they take on the Oklahoma City Thunder today in what should be an up-tempo, high-scoring style game. Over on the Fantasy Labs projections for Zach LaVine, we're going to go to the PRA there. And when we do so, you can see Zach LaVine is projected for a massive 31.9. Let's call it 32 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, his line is just 25.5 over on PrizePicks. So when you're seeing that type of differential from a trusted NBA projection source like Fantasy Labs, well, we should definitely be taking advantage of that. And then I'll get you a third projection. This was going to be brought to you by Betting Pros. When we punch in LaVine's name over there, again, you're going to see a very nice projection for the over. 31.9 according to Betting Pros as well. So they're right in line with Fantasy Labs. They've got Zach LaVine going over 25.5 PRA. And so this is a plus EV play or a positive expected value play. And it is projecting well on multiple NBA models. So you got to love what you're seeing here with Zach LaVine. Now let's talk about this next guy, Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. He's sitting out here at 31.5 points and assists. Cade coming off of a game last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He balled out, but this is a back-to-back for Cade. He is going to be traveling as well, and he's going to be taking on a tough defensive Boston Celtics team. So at 31.5 points and assists, I think the under is the way to go here. Again, I'm using these projection models. They all have Cade Cunningham going under 31.5 points and assists. So let's take a look at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer as well. This isn't me obviously just guessing and going with my gut or intuition. No, I'm using data here pulled from the best sports books out there, from the best NBA projection models out there. And so you're seeing Cade Cunningham with about a 53% chance of staying under 31.5 points and assists. Every sports book out there now has Cade Cunningham at 30.5 PA. So when they all have him at 30.5 PA and PrizePicks has him still at 31.5 PA, I think I'm going to go with all the other guys who have him less than 31.5 PA. When we check into some projections here on Cade Cunningham, you're going to see some unders projected for Cade today for the most part. A lot of these projections on RotoWire have the lean less for Cade Cunningham. When we pop open his player card, just a projection of 28 points plus assists. That is a very low projection when you're expecting 31.5 on his projection on PrizePicks. So very nice projection for the under on Cade Cunningham. Let's switch it up and go over to Fantasy Labs and look at Cade Cunningham over there. They've got him all the way down at 29.7. So once again, 31.5 versus 29.7. That's a pretty big gap. Let's take advantage and take the under while we can. This line will get bumped down very soon for Cade Cunningham. It's just a matter of time. And then the third and final projection is Betting Pros, 31.5 points and assists. He's projected for just 26 PA going up against Boston tonight on a back-to-back in a night in which he's traveled. So take the under on Cade Cunningham. Evan Mobley is our next guy, another guy who is on a back-to-back. He played the Detroit Pistons last night, but we've got Evan Mobley at 24.5 points plus rebounds, taking on the Washington Wizards, the team that he should be able to feast against with rookie Alex Sarr starting and Kyle Kuzma, two guys who aren't really known for their defense or rebounding. So Evan Mobley at 24.5 points of rebounds looks a little too low. So for that reason, we will go for more on Evan Mobley. Let's go back over here to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and punch his name in there. And when we do so, you're going to see some unders on PRA and RA. We're not looking at that one. We're looking at PR, which is points plus rebounds. 24.5. You got about a 51.5% chance. You are starting to see some sports books bump them up to 25.5. Sports books like FanDuel, in fact, already have them at 25.5. And so FanDuel's usually a step ahead of all the other books. Once FanDuel starts to bump a guy up, all the other books typically jump in line and they will bump Evan Mobley up to 25.5 eventually as well. Taking a look at some projections here. We're going back over here to RotoWire, our favorite projection tools. Pop open his projection card. 27.55 is the projection. Again, that's more than 3 points plus rebound difference. And so you have to take advantage of these gaps, these differences in projections. Back over to Fantasy Labs we go. Probably the most accurate projections that I've found are Fantasy Labs projections. They have him at 27 points plus rebounds. Again, the line is just 24.5 right now. So again, we like that differential. And last but not least, I'm going to bless you with one more projection, 3 projections. Let's see if we go 3 for 3 on this projection for Evan Mobley. Yes, a huge projection on Betting Pros, which is a free projection site, by the way. So if you're looking for some free projections, check out Betting Pros. But they've got Evan Mobley all the way up at 28 points plus rebounds. And so 3 for 3 on the projection models. We're going to take Evan Mobley over 24.5 PR. Which brings us to our next guy, Jaylen Suggs. Yes, yesterday we took Jaylen Suggs under points plus rebounds, and it worked out for us. Jaylen Suggs is on a back-to-back, but he only played 22 minutes last night for Orlando. I think they were trying to conserve him, save him for tonight's matchup against Memphis. He's going to have to guard the likes of Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, and so they'll lean on Jaylen Suggs quite a bit tonight. Hopefully he stays out of foul trouble. He can get a little reckless at times, but 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists looks like a nice over option. He looks a little bit too low at 16.5. Let me show you why. Going back over here to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, we're going to punch in Suggs' name. Now, this one hasn't really caught on yet on your favorite sports books. I think this line will end up shifting over. Right now, he's sitting at let's see, 16.5 PRA on pretty much every sports book out there. But that 16.5 PRA number, you're not really seeing a lot of movement for the over just yet. But I think that's because the market is kind of slow to react right now to Jaylen Suggs. I think as people start to wake up and as they start to check out these projection models and as they start to place some bets on NBA player props, I think you're going to naturally see Jaylen Suggs start to catch some interest from the betting public, and you're going to start to see this line go up. And I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up at 17 or 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists before it's all said and done here. So don't be surprised if the market flips on this. Right now, it's about a coin flip at 16.5 PRA. But I think this one's going to be one that's going to be a betting favorite for the over before it's all said and done here. Just taking a look at some projections on Suggs. Usually the projection models are what people are looking at when they go and place their bets on these sports books. And then that action sort of drives what you see on these optimizer tools. But Suggs is projected for 19.32 points, rebounds, and assists today. So a pretty massive projection versus just a 16.5 line over on PrizePicks. Take a look at Fantasy Labs. Fantasy Labs is another one that has Suggs going over today on his points, rebounds, and assists by a country mile. Almost 20 points, rebounds, and assists on a line of 16.5. So a differential of about 3.5 PRA. Big enough, well big enough for us to take the over here, or at least take a shot on it. And then last but not least, we're going back over to Betting Pros because 3 for 3, why not, right? Jaylen Suggs, 19.1 projected points, rebounds, and assists on a line of just 16.5. So that would be an over option for you on Suggs. Moving on to the next guy, staying in Florida here, looking at Jimmy Butler. Butler didn't have a great game, but that was against a tough defensive Orlando Magic team who typically kind of plays down to a slower pace. Tonight, he's going to take on a Charlotte Hornets team who is on a back-to-back. And so hopefully Jimmy Butler turns into Jimmy Buckets and he's doing a little bit of everything like he's known to do. We're looking at his PRA for the over at 27.5. Way too low in terms of the projections that I'm seeing on Jimmy Butler. Let's punch in Jimmy Butler's name first and foremost on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. Let's scan these sports books real quick. Right now, like I said, kind of like Jaylen Suggs, he's about a coin flip to go over at 27.5 PRA. So I think the market's just still kind of sleeping right now on this prop. But I think this is another one that's going to catch a lot of interest as we get closer and closer to tip-off. Looking at Jimmy Butler's projections, here is why I think this one will become a more popular bet as the day goes on. He's projected for 29.6 PRA, putting him over by more than 2. So that first projection on RotoWire is looking really good for Jimmy Butler. Back over to Fantasy Labs we go here, 31.7 PRA. Huge differential there, almost 4.2 PRA difference. So you got to love what you're seeing when you compare these projections to the PrizePicks line for Jimmy Butler. And then last but not least, Betting Pros is also going to have him going over 27.5 at nearly 33 points, rebounds, and assists. So a lot of love for Jimmy Butler today. That's a differential of 5.4 PRA. So for that reason, I think you should be thinking about taking the over on Jimmy Butler. Let's go over to the next pick. It's Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray got absolutely demolished the other night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Nuggets looked like they were still sleepwalking. They got to bounce back in a big way going up against the Clippers today. That game tips off at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, so kind of an earlier game. But Jamal Murray, 28.5 PRA looks a little low when you compare to some of these projection models here. So let's take a look at those over on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. We punch in Jamal Murray's name. He is getting a little bit of attention for the unders so far on the points and assists and the points and rebounds. Now, as far as the PRA goes, again, kind of like Suggs and Butler, kind of a dormant prop right now, set at about a coin flip. But again, I think as the day goes on and the betting market starts to heat up, they're going to look at these projections on Jamal Murray and think, oh my gosh, he is projected way higher than 28.5 on a site like RotoWire. So 31.68 PRA. A projection of more than 3 points, rebounds, and assists. He shot just 4 for 14 against Oklahoma City. Obviously, that's going to have to pick up. Obviously, that will pick up. He's not going to shoot 4 for 14 for the rest of his career. Hopefully, tonight's the night when that shooting percentage starts to go up. So almost a 32 PRA projection for Jamal Murray. Let's go ahead and punch his name in over here on Fantasy Labs. 32.5 PRA, a huge differential. 4 points, rebounds, and assists different is Fantasy Labs projection versus the sports books and PrizePicks. And then last but not least, we always like to try to see if we could go 3 for 3 on these projection models. And of course, with Jamal Murray being on Betting Pros here, they're going to have him projected for 31.7, so more than 3 PRA difference. So Jamal Murray looking like an over option. And yes, I got one more pick. We'll call this a bonus pick because we've already reached our 6-pick limit on PrizePicks. Let's clear those out. I'll give you that bonus pick in just a minute. But first and foremost, if you are looking for a player prop community, some community that's focused on PrizePicks, Underdog, Better, all these different DFS player prop sites, I've already got one set up for you. It's set up here through Dub Club. So you could join Dub Club for as little as 67 cents per day. That's less than a cup of coffee. You could probably find that walking down the street or in the crack of your couch cushion. All right, you could join our Dub Club and be a part of a winning community who's sharing their favorite picks, plays, parlays for a variety of different sports and a variety of different apps. I've left a link down in the comment section and in the description of this video. If you're interested, 7-day free trial right now. Come on, join the family. There's plenty of room for you and others. Back to PrizePicks we go. Here's our bonus pick of the day, our 7th pick. Delivering lots of picks for you guys. I hope you appreciate this. If you do, hit a like for me on this video. But we're looking at James Harden for less than 29.5. He's taking on Jamal Murray and these Denver Nuggets. At 29.5 points plus rebounds, this is looking a little bit too high. So we're going to go back over here to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and punch in Harden's name. And when we do that, you can see that a 29.5 PR, the top way to play James Harden today is the under. 53.26% chance that he stays under 29.5 points plus rebounds. You've got FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, and other sports books who have already moved Harden down from 29.5 to 28.5. So they do expect him to struggle against the Denver Nuggets in this matchup. And of course, when you go and take a look at the projections here, you're going to see James Harden is pretty much a lean less for darn near everything when you go and check out a site like RotoWire. Everything for James Harden's looking bad. It's looking bad, bad, bad for the beard. 25.31 is his projected PR line over on RotoWire. When we slide over to Fantasy Labs and look at his projections over there, they also have him going under. 27 points and rebounds is the projection there. And then last but not least, Betting Pros on James Harden. Yeah, you kind of already guessed it. 3 for 3. James Harden is projected to go under his points and rebounds line at a projection of 24.1 according to Betting Pros, a differential of 5.4 points plus rebounds. So all the models are saying take the under on James Harden, so that's why we are leaning under on James Harden. Now, I turn things over to you. What do you guys think about these picks? Love them? Hate them? You riding with the projections or are you going to ride against them? Let me know down in the comment section below. I always like to hear what you guys are thinking, what you're playing, and if you just want to say hello, that's always welcome as well. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. We'll catch you in another video real soon. Peace.